Here at theeventchronicle.com is an article by John Morse entitled Li Qingwen, Oldest Man Reveals His Secrets to Longevity Before Death at Age 256. According to a 9:30 New York Times article, Wu Chungqi, a professor of Chengdu University, discovered imperial Chinese government records from 1827, congratulating Li Qingwen on his 150th birthday, and further documents later congratulating him on his 200th birthday in 1877. In 1928, a New York Times correspondent wrote that many of the old men in Li's neighborhood asserted that their grandfathers knew him when they were boys, and that he, at that time, was a grown man. Li Qingwen reportedly began his herbalist career at the age of 10, when he was gathering herbs in the mountain ranges and learning of their potency for longevity. For almost 40 years, he survived on a diet of herbs such as lingzi, goji berry, wild ginseng, he shu wu, and gotu kola, along with rice wine. In 1749, at the age of 71, he joined the Chinese armies as a teacher of martial arts. Li was said to be a much-loved figure in his community, marrying 23 times and fathering over 200 children. According to the generally accepted tales told in his province, Li was able to read and write as a child, and by his 10th birthday had traveled in Kansu, Shanxi, Tibet, Annam, Siam, and Manchuria, gathering herbs. For the first 100 years, he continued at this occupation. Then he switched to selling herbs gathered by others. He sold lingzi, goji berry, wild ginseng, he shu wu, and gotu kola, along with other Chinese herbs, and lived off a diet of these herbs. And of course, the rice wine. According to one of Li's disciples, he had once encountered an even older, 500-year-old man who taught him Qigong exercises and dietary recommendations that would help him extend his lifespan to superhuman proportions. Apart from Qigong and an herb-rich diet, what else can we learn from this master of longevity? How about this? On his deathbed, Li famously said, "I've done all that I have to do in this world." Could his peaceful last words also hint at one of the biggest secrets to long and prosperous life? It's interesting to note that in the West, we're often taught to believe that aging is something that must be beaten, with high-tech infrared devices and state-of-the-art medication. Not sure how you do that with an infrared device. Li was asked what his secret was to longevity. This was his reply. Keep a quiet heart. Sit like a tortoise. Walk sprightly like a pigeon. And sleep like a dog. These were the words of advice Li gave to Wu Peifu, the warlord, who took Li into his house to learn the secret of extremely long life. Li maintained that inward calm and peace of mind, combined with breathing techniques, were the secrets to incredible longevity. Obviously, his diet would have played a role, but it is fascinating that the oldest, I guess they mean here, living person in recorded history attributes his long life to a state of mind. With the average lifespan for the Western world currently sitting between 70 and 85 years, the thought of someone living over 100 years old seems like quite a stretch. Someone living over 200 years old seems extremely suspicious. But why don't we believe that people can live this long? We have to keep in mind that some people in this world don't live a grueling 9-to-5 lifestyle. They don't have to deal with the stresses of debt. They aren't breathing polluted city air, and they exercise regularly. They don't eat refined sugars or flour or any foods that have pesticides sprayed upon them. They aren't living off the standard American diet. They are not eating fatty meat, sugary desserts, and genetically modified foods, no antibiotics, no alcohol, and no tobacco. Their diets not only exclude junk foods, in which we so often indulge, they also include superfoods and herbs which are like steroids for our organs and immune system. They also spend their spare time in nature, practicing breathing techniques and meditating, which has been proven to improve mental, physical, and emotional health. They keep things simple. They get the proper sleep and spend a great deal of time in nature under the sun. When we get a chance to relax in the sun, we feel instantly rejuvenated and call this a vacation. Imagine spending a lifetime doing that in the mountains, combined with that perfect mental, spiritual, and physical well-being. The author writes, "I do not doubt for a minute that if we all did the things we knew we were supposed to do, that living to be 100 would be commonplace. When we treat our bodies right, who knows for how long we could live." Stephen Benkars is the creator of Spirit, Science, and Metaphysics. The author writes, "I am working on a new social platform. It's being built, and it's called the Conscious Forum, to provide the best place online for open-minded people to discuss, engage, and connect with one another in a way that never offered before." The last descendant of Methuselah. According to the Bible, the man who has lived longer on earth than any other was Methuselah, who was born in 3000 BC and died in 2000 BC at the age of 969 years, 7 days before the flood. His father Enoch died at a young 365, and his grandson Noah died 950 years old. Ages for which centuries seem not being able to be reached by humanity, despite medical advances and generally better living conditions.